Andy.
And I'm Rick.
And welcome back to Get Gaming, the channel by two gamers with a Y for
Gamers with or without a Y.
That's right, we're back, bitches. After a long hiatus, the Stonewall Uprising video is finally dropping. I will link to it here in the box and also in the description. We also dropped the ball on our monthly masks because our faces have been f***ed up.
Yeah.
If you watch carefully in the Stonewall Uprising video, you will note that this part of my face was swelling up and I had to go to the hospital because I had an infection, but it's better. And Rich's dermatologist took a pound of flesh because he's still trying to clone you, I'm convinced.
I've been cut more times. Yes, I have been cut more times than Frankenstein.
No, he's Dr. Frankenstein trying to make you.
It's alive!
But he won't succeed because you're my monster. So obviously, we weren't very in a very photogenic place.
I'm still not.
Well, the show must go on.
Life's a show, and we all play our parts.
And so, the title of this video is Our Summer of Games 2023. So we want to fill you in on what we've been playing, because it has been a lot of new things. Yes. With a lot of people. So we're going to do some stats and make this hopefully a quick video. We also do want to still cover our RageCon experience. It was our first board gaming convention, so that will be a separate video. So without further ado, let's get into some math, shall we? So this is June, July, August. We're just talking about the 3 months that are most stereotypically summer.
Yeah.
Yes. So 98 plays, and we played 56 unique games. So this includes the RageCon stuff. We played 24 new to us / me games. So a few were not new to me, and a few I played, you did not play. And we played with 29 different people.
God, what sluts.
I know.
I never said I was a role model.
But what about...
That's right. We're proselytizing these games. We introduced a lot of people to new games.
Sluts.
And so we're breaking it down. So the month of June, we had 31 total plays and 22 unique games. And we played 11 new games. Then in July, we played 42 plays, and we had 27 unique games. And 13 of those were new to us.
It's incredible.
So we didn't have any
stats.
Yeah, but we didn't have any new games in August. We mostly did like rediscoveries that we pulled off the shelf in August, which was our New Year's resolution to get the older games back into the rotation. So we've been continuing to do that. So we're probably just going to go through the new to us games, and then we'll talk about some of the rediscoveries we did and some of the games we introduced to other people. The first new to us game was in June, was Tapestry by Stonewall Games, designed by Jamie Stegmeyer, who's so cute. And I very much enjoyed that game. I got it for $30 used, which is such an insane deal with the minis and everything. Like, chef's kiss. I like that game. You barely remember it.
I don't.
But would you play it again?
Well, sure. I mean, I don't know that I hated it. I guess I didn't like it.
You're on the fence about it. It's a civ building game. You know, you're bumping tracks, you know, this and that. I want to play it with John, see what he thinks of it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember it that well, so I would definitely be
It was
up
long.
for playing it again.
Because it is a heavier game. Like, what you're doing on your turn is very... The turns can be snappy, but it takes a while to bump up the tracks and stuff. But, yeah, so we need to play that again. Jury's out. Oh! Deadly Dowagers. I don't know if we talked about this on the channel yet.
No, I don't think so.
Which are new. You might notice we have some new dragon friends. Little Hester is our new dragon baby. She's on top of Deadly Dowagers. A delightful drafting game about killing your husbands for money, but not too many. You don't want to become, you know, that girl. 3 or 4.
Yeah.
It's enough to get to the
just
dude.
enough to get to the top of the
dude. You want to be a duchess.
You wanna
Because
be
once
the
you're a duchess, you don't have to f him anymore. And you could go on European vacation. You don't even have to talk to your husband. You don't have to look at him. You don't even have to be in the same country as him. You just get to spend his money.
See, this is the appeal, folks.
That's the dream, right?
He's a little staid looking. Like, he's not the hottest guy.
He's got the big mustachios, you know. Some people are into the walrus look.
The best part, though, is to get ahead, you may have to kill some of your husbands.
You have to kill the husbands. Because the point of the game is to get enough money to basically bribe the Duke into loving you.
The cards that have the methods of killing the husbands.
Inheritance powder,
yes,
shall we
that's
say.
one of my favorites, the inheritance
A little
powder.
stiletto dagger.
I like I also like the hat pin.
Oh, yes, and she's pulling it out. And there's this salty little, it's very darkly humorous, the game.
Definitely.
Some resource management in it. It's not deck building, it's drafting. So it's fairly light. And you can play it up to 6. And then we also played At the Gates of Loyang. Or I should say, I forced Rich to play At the Gates of Loyang, which is the Uwe Rosenberg game, which he designed actually before Agricola. Another farming sim that allegedly takes place in ancient China. I mean, it could be anywhere. It's not very thematic. You're growing vegetables, you're trading vegetables, you're trying to get helper cards to then trade more vegetables, Very good solo experience. I'm a little on the fence about it at 2 and 3. I don't like the drafting as much at 2 and 3.
No. I think the jury is still out for me on this.
You were very frustrated because you were having a hard time. You have to do a lot of automation in that game with your crops, and you have to use the helper cards very strategically to sort of break the limitations of the amount of crops you can grow. So I think you were just struggling getting the helper cards that would really be beneficial to you at the right time. So it was just a lot of luck of the draw.
A lot of games, really.
Well, not in the solo mode. In the solo mode, because it's sort of like the card drafting is sort of this 3-layered kind of conveyor belt. So you can see 2 rounds ahead which cards are coming. So there's more open information in the way that you draft the cards in the solo game. Mm-hmm. So I was thinking next time we play it, let's just do the solo way of drafting instead of whatever the 2-player rules are. And I think you'd enjoy it more.
We can certainly do that.
Then Beer and Bread was new. We played this a lot. We played this 6 times in the last several months. It's a Scott Alms game, It's kind of like Uwe Rosenberg light. It's like, baby's first Euro. So that's an interesting game where you have the alternating fruitful years and dry years. And so you're drafting in the fruitful years, and there's more plentiful resources. And in the leaner years, you can kind of hold cards over from alternating rounds so that you can kind of play them in the fruitful years for resources, and then you can use them in the dry years to actually bake the beer and do the bread. And there's an interesting kind of like Tigris and Euphrates scoring where you're going to score the lesser of your 2 scores. So either beer or bread, but not both.
And you don't want to do what Andy did on one of the times he played when he decided it would be good to just
I was going to specialize in beer.
On beer.
Get all those points. And then I had 0 in bread.
And so that's all you got.
I got 0 points in that game. I felt pretty dumb. It was a very blonde moment, which I'm not even blonde anymore, you may have noticed. Hopefully I won't be making those kinds of mistakes in the future.
Sure, Jan.
It's a good thing to kind of figure out.
Very good 2-player only game, though. We've been enjoying it.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. In fact, I think it's really one of the best 2-player games because it's
45 minutes.
Yeah, it's meaty. I
like the puzzle.
Yeah,
a lot of the upgrades feel a little superfluous. Like sometimes you're just adding upgrades just to have upgrades because every time you slide an upgrade under your side of the board, you get to clear off beer and bread, and you can only hold 1 beer or 1 bread in each spot at a time before you have to clear it off. Though there are upgrades that let you break that rule. But so there's interesting engine building going on, but sometimes the engine building isn't always as intentional as I would like it to be. It's kind of my main criticism. But I enjoy it. It's quick when I just want to scratch that Euro itch and pull out a game that's going to take less than 2 or 3 hours.
A guarantee.
Then Metro X was new to us this summer. That was our most played game of the summer. We played it between our multiplayer plays and my solo plays. It's been more than a dozen. It's a great roll and write where you're building out a subway route. Another Japanese designer, which we love, our Japanese designers. That's a game right game. And I don't know, that's the one that I've just been pulling out for when I just want a filler game or something light for people that maybe aren't quite in the space to chew on the Euro.
I don't want to get ahead of myself because I'm looking at what the next game on the list is. But
I have
either Metro X or the next one, which has not been mentioned
speaking
yet,
of Japan,
probably my great finds of the summer. But Metro X definitely is great.
Well, I finally found a roll and write that Rich really took a shine to.
That's true.
Because you didn't like Three Sisters. I think that was a little too combo.
No.
Not just combo-tastic, combo crazy. That's what Three
Oh my
Sisters
god,
is.
I don't even like looking at the little sheet with all the different areas.
And what was the other roll night
Ugh.
we played?
Well, we haven't played Hadrian's Wall yet, so I can't say if I
Well,
don't
now that
know.
we've done A Feast for Odin, that's a spoiler for September. I think you'll be ready for Hadrian's Wall. It won't
Oh,
seem
good.
as terrifying.
I mean, one thing we have been finding over this summer is that
You
some
can play
of the
more
games,
Euro games.
yeah, exactly. Some of the games that I rejected originally because they were just too beyond me at the time. No, now I like them.
You're
We always have to
maturing
go-
as a gamer.
Yeah, we always have to go back and revisit old games and make sure is this still as hated as it once was, Spirit Island, or
Are you saying you'd be open to doing Spirit Island?
I can't even believe I
Be
would say
still,
that.
my beating heart. I don't want to push it though. I'm not going to push
No,
it.
don't push it.
I won't
Wait
even
for me-
mention it again
you wait
for the next
me
2
to
months.
suggest it.
I
and
will.
Then I will. I probably will. Maybe.
Don't toy with me though. You're toying me being
I am
coy
a
with
little
me.
bit. I don't know.
I deserve it though because I forced you to play all these Euros.
Are you the bitch?
That is true.
Speaking of great discoveries, this was my great discovery. This is something that was on my shelf of shame for 2 years.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone watching this channel has heard of this game probably. So this is like a 20-year-old game. Another Japanese design from, I don't know, circa like the early aughts or
Wow.
something. I think this is a Z-Man printing from like 2010 or something like that. This is a great game. I'm just mad that we didn't learn it sooner.
I am
It's
too.
so much
Well-
fun. So in this game, you're basically your mermaids. Okay, you're trying to you've fallen in love with the prince, the monkey prince. He kind of looks like a monkey.
Oh, he does.
If you squint at the prince card, it's
Yeah.
like just very not the best art on the prince. But
No.
anyway, I love the look of this board. It's very like aquatic themed. You know, because you're the mermaid, you're using your dolphin and turtle friends to help go around this board. So you each play as a different mermaid, and you're playing out these poker melds to get these bonuses and stuff, to then, you know, determine the turn order for how you're going to place tiles out on this board and build the different networks so that you can kind of hop from island to island and collect these different jewels to pay the witch at the end of the game. And then also so that you can, the prince will love you once you throw like jewels in his face. You know, because men love shiny
You know,
things.
This game is like it's like a combination of so many different games, and that's
It's so
what
different
makes
in
it
different
fun.
mechanics. It sounds like a mess and it
It
sounds
does.
like just random, but it's
not.
so
It's
much fun.
Yeah, I love this game.
Yeah, and I like that, you know, there's a lot of simultaneous play with the cards, and there are a lot of steps to the round is the only thing that can kind of bog it down a little bit sometimes, but it's only 5 rounds, so, you know, if you're pretty snappy with it and you get kind of familiar with what the different melds kind of do, they give you different bonuses.
I
which
don't
can
find the
help you.
melds all that hard.
No.
Yeah, it's like
If you play poker
Yeah.
or like a similar card game, they call them different things, but they're basically like 3 of a kind, you know, full house.
I don't
things
know,
like
when
that.
we first were gonna play this game, we just got spooked or something.
The rule book
Where-
is, I
yeah.
mean, it's translated from Japanese, and the translation's fine. I think the first time we tried to play it 2 years ago, I set the game up and we were going to play it with my old roommate, and we just tried to get through a round, and we were all like, nope.
I think it was just too late in the evening. We probably cooked dinner, and it was like, we did, the focus was no longer
And, you know,
there.
this was 2 years ago, so this
Yeah.
was at a time when I didn't have the rule book deciphering chops that I do now. Once we did sit down to learn this game in July, I was like, oh, this game's not that bad.
No,
Not
and
that
that was
complicated.
my
Pretty
reaction
light.
to it too. It's like, oh, I thought this was like much more difficult.
It's like
This
the
doesn't
lighter
seem
side of
difficult.
medium. I think it's still a medium weight game. But
No.
that's Mermaid Rain. This is out of print, but I think you can get it on the secondhand market pretty easily. That's where I got it for like $20 or something.
Well worth it if you can get a hold of it.
If you like tile placement,
we
it's also a
love
good game.
anything with aquatic themes, so we're probably a
Mermaids.
little prejudiced on this one, but it is a great game, and it's fun.
And we even introduced this to a bunch of people. We've introduced this to like 4 different people already.
Everybody's liked it that we've introduced it.
Yeah,
to.
it's fun. So definitely give that one a whirl if you can find it. Speaking of Japanese designers,
Dandelions.
but I'll play, or formerly BoardGameTables.com. This is another reprint of a Japanese game called Birth. It's like a rondelle kind of dice placement.
I don't know how much I'd want play that.
It's about the birth of the universe.
No. Oh, the birth of the universe. Okay, maybe the birth of the universe. Otherwise, I want nothing to do with it.
So you have 5 different tiles, right? Can I explain how you want?
I will explain. This one's easy enough. I could teach this game, okay?
Really good filler.
It's a rondelle, and the boards are 1. These are multipliers when you do
It's a Fibonacci sequence, yeah. It's additive.
When you do the scoring, it's
1, 2, 3, 5, 8.
Yeah. And on the 8, there's only is there only 1 spot? Yeah. They have different numbers of spots. What I love about this game is you start out by rolling all your dice at once. Then you kind of arrange them by the pips with the low values.
Just going to see what you have.
Just to see what you have. But you're going to use those to just lay different dice. When you put it, like if you start at the beginning, you could do 1 and just move 1, and you're going to put your die down there. And it has to do with how many die you have in each of the sectors.
Area control, basically, yeah.
Yeah, and you want to say, you've really got to do a lot of counting. And there's weighting involved. Like if you're not the first to go, you're going to maybe have to hold back a little because you want to make sure to get a die on that 8 space because you're going to rack up a ton of points there.
Also, though, if you time it correctly, your piece lands on top of somebody else's pieces, you can do a puff, and you can then launch yourself double the amount.
That's true, but it's not going to help you on the 8. If somebody's already on that 8 space, you kind of have to figure out how to delay it a little bit.
But sometimes you want them to be on the 8 space so that you can puff off them onto the next space on the 1, because that allows you to re-roll all your die.
It's true. I mean, there's a lot of interesting mechanics in this game. It goes really fast. It's only like a 10 or 15 minute game, but it's just really satisfying. There's nothing conceptually difficult.
So we've only played this at 2. There is a solo mode that Board Game Dave did. He posted it on BGG. It's actually really solid. I prefer this multiplayer, though, I think. We haven't played it at 3. The only thing is it doesn't play 4. Is my only complaint. Like, as a good filler, it'd be nice if it played 4, but,
I mean, if they redid it and, made it a little, the math come out a little differently, I would buy it because I loved
it's based on the Fibonacci sequence, and because it is an area control game, there's a certain number of spots, and so I think if there were 4 players, not only... maybe the math would work out. I think you could potentially run out of spots.
What's the next number in this sequence? 13?
13. So you could add 13, do a little mini expansion, but, because it's a reprinting of a slightly older game. Like, I think the Japanese game is, at least 10 years old or something.
But I would still get this game anyway. Especially if you like us, we play most of our games together and get together with other people, when we can. But most
we tend to play at 3 a lot, though.
Yeah, either 2 or 3. If you like 2-player games, I think this is a must, don't you?
I think if you're just looking for a good, light filler game that still has a little bit of strategy and you just want to chuck dice, with your partner, this is,
I don't know if you can tell it from, because...
It's so pretty.
I mean, the cover isn't...
Great art.
The art is beautiful.
This is the dice. They're kind of small, and they come in, the orange, green...
But here's, some of the different... cards. They're just gorgeous, really.
They are. It was excellent art. God. You could learn it in 5 minutes and play it in 15 your first time, even if you had a lot of AP and you're super confused. It is not a long game at all.
But the scoring is really interesting because there's 2 different... You actually have to score 2 different ways.
You multiply your die based on how many are in the numbered spot. If I have 2 die on the 5, I'd get 10. And then whoever has the majority in that area, they will get to add their pip values together. However, if it's tied, the person with less in the pip value will get it.
For the second way.
So if you had 2 die on 5 and I had 2 die on 5, but my pips equals 8, say, and yours equaled 13, I would get the points. Do you want to introduce this next thing? I got this for our anniversary, which is in July.
And
by Lucky Duck Games. This is Flamecraft, designed by Manny Vega.
We're such suckers for anything. It's either aquatic themes or
cute
dragons.
Animals.
Or cute animals. Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are our
cottagecore. This is a very cottagecore type of game. You're playing artisanal dragons who are going around the town making various artisanal goods.
Yeah.
Casting spells.
Yeah, they're dragon alchemists, I would even say.
It's Cardboard Alchemy is the design studio. So
yeah, I like any game where there's like choices of where to go and how.
It's another rondel game, technically.
Yeah,
you're moving around.
I don't like games that like limit me too much, and this game, no. It's
very open, a lot of positive feedback loops and positive player interaction. It's a really good family weight game if you're trying to...
I think so.
Like Baby's First Euro.
I would say that's a good example.
Because you're doing a lot of resource management and contract fulfillment and upgrading of cards. There's a lot of bonuses and potential combos you can make. It's very fun.
And it seems more natural than a lot of other games that try to do that.
Smooth is better.
It's really smooth. They must have play tested this thing a lot because there's no glitches in it. Almost all of the games, even some that we really like, do have little glitches.
I mean, it's really the main point of the game is that contract fulfillment of those spells you're trying to cast. You're trying to get the resources on the spell cards to be able to get the points, So it's still technically point salad. There's not a lot of fat in the game, I would say. And a lot of variability in the cards that come out and the different shop cards that you can have will really vary from game to game, or they can if you curate it. I've been playing through the solo campaign, which is very solid and kind of takes you through the different combinations of cards that you can do. So it's a great way to explore the content in the game. I do want the minis. I want the minis so bad. John, can you sell me your minis? I don't need the whole Kickstarter edition. I don't care about the metal coins. I just want the dragon minis. Though they are coming out with a new Series 2 of the minis, where they're like holding things, like depending on which artisanal job they have. They're holding a broom or a baguette or whatever.
Yeah, it's really cute. The whole game is extremely cute.
I love it. I love everything about these dragons. The first time I saw this art, I was like, no, we have to have that. That's a must buy. I'm just sad it took us so long to get it and play it, because I quite enjoy it.
We played it a bunch, though, since we have
at least like
it.
4 times or so.
Yeah, I'm sure it's got a lot of life left in it.
And they're coming out with a new game, actually. It's called Critter Kitchen.
Oh god, another critter game.
To go with our creature comforts. So,
it's true, we spend half our time with either critters or in the kitchen. Yeah. So it kind of actually fits.
It's definitely our vibe. Then, we're going to have a separate video, like I said, for our RageCon vlog, but a game that I played at RageCon that I need to auto-buy that. I need this in my life. 535. This was a game that I had heard Maggie talk about from Thinker Themer on their list of trick-taking games. So this isn't pure trick-taking, because you're making sets of cards in the middle of the table, and you're adding to the trick or you're overwriting on the set or the run, as the case may be. But it's still, the idea is still basically trick-taking, I think. But it's numbers, so I played this, so I saw this on the schedule at RageCon. I was like, oh, I want to do that. It was like 8:30 a.m. on the last day of the con, so I was motivated.
8:30 in the morning?
Yeah.
You got up for that?
I did.
Oh my god.
Because I wanted to try it, because I'd heard she was raving about it, and I was like, I understand why. This is now my favorite
Wait
filler.
a minute, so that's how I get you up in the morning? It's
Board
just
games,
like,
baby.
It's just like, look at this game I've got.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah, bitch.
Ooh, but you only get to play it. I'll have to take it back if you don't get out of bed right now.
That would be a good way to get me up.
I think it would.
So we played this with a bunch of different people now. While I was waiting for this to ship after RageCon, I basically just looked up the card files on BGG, on BoardGameGeek.com, and I just wrote out my own deck of cards, and we played it with Jamila and Max, my roommate, quite a bit, with just my handwritten deck. You know?
It was fun. Believe it or not, it's like.
The only difference is it has the art's kind of nice. It's got this sort of Pacific Northwest. It's raining kind of style.
It's modernish.
Whatever.
It doesn't. I don't. The art.
It's an aesthetic.
Essential.
It's not functional.
Yeah, it doesn't really do that much, but it's okay.
But it's such a good, quick card game when it's card slapping fun. It's gab around the table. It's so and it's very push your luck almost. I mean, it's one of those games where you're dealt the hand
I
that you're
love
dealt.
games like this where it's like you don't know who's going to be the winner. It's a lot like
There is
the
strategy,
game,
but
5 Crowns. Only 5 Crowns goes on forever.
11 rounds. Like you
Yeah,
start with
11
3
rounds.
cards. You start a hand with 3 cards, and you go for each round until you get to 13. And
But it has that same feel. So if you like
I can
5
see that.
Crowns, which I do like it.
because you're
but-
kind of doing like the runs and the sets is similar to Rummy style.
and yeah,
kind of
and
games.
then it's like it's so. I love the thing where you're grabbing the cards. It's like,
Well, guess I took
yeah,
the
yeah.
trick.
I guess I did. that. Yeah, you do it.
Guess I'm leading. No, it's such a really good game. So if you like rummy style games or trick taking, this is a really good one. I think you should have in the collection for sure. And of course in June, because we were working on that Stonewall Uprising video, we played a lot of Stonewall Uprising.
Mhm.
Great game. You should all go out and buy it and tell your friends to buy Stonewall Uprising, especially if you're gay or they're gay. Or even if you're all straight, you should play it too. Just educate yourself. Absolutely love that game. That video took a lot out of us, obviously. But it's finally out there in the world. I'm very happy about that. But yeah, we played that like 7 or 8 times.
Did we?
Mhm.
Oh my god.
We haven't played it since because I think, we were
I
prepping
don't-
for the video,
I
so we got a little
guess.
burnt
I
out.
don't even remember playing it that many times.
That's exactly right.
But it was fun. It's still a great game.
I do
and,
enjoy it.
I would play it.
I mean, I stand by what I said in that video, which is that it's very much an experience, and it's not something I want to pull out all the time, but it is.
Right.
It is.
And it's educational, and I hate to say that.
It's a
because it makes
meaningful
it
game
sound
to me.
like-
Playing it is a very meaningful experience.
It is.
So we had some rediscoveries because I finally, got my own copy of Horrified because ever since my ex-roommate moved out and took her copy with her, I was like, oh, we need to get this. Every time I want to do a co-op, you suggest Pandemic, and
I
Pandemic's
love Pandemic.
it's a little
too.
abstract for me, I realized. With the
Oh.
cubes and stuff, it just...
I like it. But I like this game too. I love this game.
One of my favorite co-ops after Spirit Island, probably, and this one's much lighter and accessible, obviously. And you love the Universal monsters and stuff. And just in time for Halloween, we played this once so far. We only did 2 monsters because it was a relearning game.
Well, could you do more than 2 monsters?
Standard game is 3. A hard game is 4.
Oh, jeez. Ooh, that would be punishing. All that.
Yeah, and they are coming out with Greek mythology monsters editions. So I'm so excited. Yeah, so we are going to be definitely playing this in October. I don't know that we're going to do content on Horrified because there's plenty
There's
out there
plenty of that.
already, but just so you guys know, we
We
got this
like
back
it.
in the collection. Then we played Splendor for the first time in literal 2 years or something.
It's been a while.
Which was
but-
one of our gateway games, like Carcassonne and Dominion and stuff.
Yeah, I do think that is a great game. It's
The
pretty
engine builder.
simple. It's pretty simple
cards
in the
and
way
tokens.
that, it's like an easy game to teach. And I think that for people that are just starting,
Gateway friendly, yeah.
it's a very gateway friendly game, and I would recommend it.
I would be curious to play Century with you because it's very similar mechanically, but it's you have actual gem crystals instead of the poker chips.
That would be
The
fun.
way you're building your engine is a little bit more interesting to me. It's a little more dynamic. But yeah, I want to try that one with you. There's several different editions. There's a
Yeah.
Golem edition, which is more mystical monster themed or whatever. I prefer that one.
But I mean, we went back east to visit some friends of ours, and we
played it with Clay when we went to New York. Yeah.
And he had in fact, he won. So I think
He
that
did.
it's one of those games, really,
I
you
forgot
won't
about
have
that.
that much trouble explaining it to anybody, and
No.
it's easy to get into. And I think it's basically an appealing game.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I wiped the floor with you without really meaning to.
What?
I still feel a little guilty about it, to be honest.
I never said I was a role model.
Maybe next time you'll wipe the floor with me, I'm sure. You'll have a comeback.
I hope so.
Oh, we played Targi again. It had been a while since we played Targi. I think the last time I played my copy of Targi before that's when we played the expansion. So we played without the expansion again, but it's interesting comparing base Targi after having played the expansion.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
I like the
didn't-
expansion a lot, what it did. It definitely added more. weight. But, I don't know, just base Targi still felt like a warm blanket to me. And it's still one of my favorite 2-player games
I feel
of all
like
time.
there's a lot of games that there isn't a huge need. Like, Targi is pretty complete as a game. I don't know that I think that the expansion...
I mean, some people are like, once you go the Targi the Expansion, you never go back. Which I could understand, you know, not wanting to sort it out every time. There is a solo mode came out that I got, that I have the German version, the bonus box, which had some of the upgraded components too, which I like having in the base Targi. But it doesn't have the upgraded components for the expansion, like the water bottles or whatever. So, you know, it's still one of my favorite games of all time. Top 5, you know, so I was glad we got it back into the rotation a little bit. Speaking of top 5s, Castles of Burgundy. That was in the rotation, you know, keeping that fresh.
Love that game. It's quite possibly the best Euro that I've played.
Well, I don't think that's a controversial statement. You know, a lot of people would agree with that.
It's really good. It's solid.
It's solid, and it's not more convoluted than it needs to be.
That's what I like about it.
And dice placement. We love dice placement.
We do.
Speaking of, we introduced, continuing to proselytize our dice chucking heroes, we introduced Jamila to Praetor, one that popped our cherry, our first Euro game we ever played.
That's true.
Wonderful dice placement, worker management, tile placement game. And then Rajas of the Ganges, we played with her, and she quite enjoyed it.
It's sort of up in the air between Rajas and Castles of Burgundy as far as what
I think Rajas, you love chucking that dice.
I do.
And Castles of Burgundy, you only have 2 dice. And in Rajas, you can get a lot of dice.
That's true.
More dice, more problems.
Fun.
more fun,
dice,
too.
more...
But I'm glad she enjoyed Praetor. They both took kind of long. You know, any learning game of Euro game is going to take, like, probably 3 hours if it's a 2-hour game, which I would say Praetor and Rajas are 2-hour games. Well, at 2, Rajas usually only takes us an hour and a half because we played it so many times. Praetor, I think we can get through in an hour and a half.
I think so, as long as we're not playing with other people.
Well, when we played Praetor with my niece and her boyfriend, that's the only time we ever played it at 4, and it took, like, I would say it's an hour per player.
But they loved it.
They did. They really liked it.
Yeah.
It's a good game. I think that's everything. Did I mention that we played with 29 people this summer?
Yes, because I said you were a slut.
Oh, yeah!
Oh, yeah. And so, I mean, the majority of those kind of were at RageCon. I think outside of RageCon, it was at least 10 different people. You know, the usual suspects. I will have a separate video for the RageCon vlog. I will have a separate solo video for the solo games I played in the summer of 2023, because that is its own thing. And we have a lot of unboxing videos coming, a lot of new stuff happening. I mean, just a ton of footage that needs to be edited. What else is new? Oh, do you guys like our new background? I have extra bookcases now. So we still need maybe we need to do a shelf organization shelf tour video.
We should.
Soon. Let us know in the description if you want to see a shelf tour or me reorganizing all this stuff. Do you have any final thoughts?
Yes, don't forget to like and subscribe.
And hit the notification bell. Ding! And remember, as always, to be gay.
Do crime.
Don't get caught.
And
get gay, man. Am I ready?
Start it.
Yeah, it's already on, bitch. Well, now I'm switching back to Ora Bora, lavender, and cucumber, sparkling water.
Out of the cutest can, is that like a sloth?
Yeah, it's a little stuff. And he has this little cucumber toboggan. We should reach out to Ora Bora and see if they will sponsor this content. Hi, I'm Ann. Pat. I love you. You would be you'd be my side piece. And then I'd have the Duke to be like, you know, the moneymaker husband.
Oh, so, there's the monkey.
Yeah, the monkey friends. But,
lighter side.
It's still a little light.
What happened?
Hey, coasters are falling.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Clickbait, who cares?
I don't change diapers or do any of that stuff he does.
Yes, I've taken care of children.
Have not, and I don't have any desire to. I was
case.
going to give a different example. Yours was going to be 8, and my value is going to be just 7, and I won.
Well, that's just wishful thinking, baby.
Yes.
There's that.
We're just throwing
Speaking of
Oh, good.
I need
see
a
what's
transition.
next.
What's the better? Oh, well, you just
Well, I'm gonna.
I'm trying to think of a
just
transition, like a snappy transition, something witty. Mazel tov. Did it die?
go- I don't know. Let's see.
If it died, I'm really gonna flip a bitch.